On today's show,
we debate the most impressive part of Westbrook's latest triple-double record.
We select the young player who could average a trip dub, and some words to describe Lance's last-second layup.
And LeBron downplays tonight's big game versus the Celtics, but do you buy it?
It's Wednesday, April 5th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live on NBA TV, later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have all of you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tess Mellis.
If you're hungry right now, you won't be after this show.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis. Lily. And last, certainly not least, over yonder, it's the bearded one, it's Trey Kirby. Hey! Yo! All right, Lee, it is time for you to pay off your March pick'em loss. And anyone that watches the show knows that you treat your body like a temple. You have a very strict diet. You do not like fast food. You got your bar 3. In fact, a couple years ago, you couldn't even take down some fries at the finals. You tapped after like 10 fries. You can't do it.
Fries, come on.
Come on. So it's time, Lee, for you to, to tackle your worst fear. And that is why we have the fast food roulette. 4 times throughout this Tonight Show, you're going to have to spin this wheel.
Okay.
And we have a number of delicious fast food items.
Where? I can't see any.
For you to possibly take down tonight. Spicy deluxe chicken sandwiches and Big Macs and fries and roast beef. I mean, look, everything here for you to take down. So why don't we just get right into it? Let's get right into it right now. Get up there. You can spin the wheel. Before you do, is there anything when you look at the wheel here that you're worried about or don't want?
They should all be just the poop emoji. So.
Okay, well, before you spin it, there is a special. There's starter special there, and.
That's good.
Should I let you know now? Or I'll let you know now. It's a Wendy's Baconator topped with chicken McNuggets sandwiched between 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. So let's hope for that one.
Let's hope for that one. That's the one that we really want.
All right, Lily.
All right, ready?
Here we go, first one. Give it a go. He doesn't want any of them.
Yeah.
Are there any you do want? What's the least objectionable?
No, they're all objectionable. I don't know. They're all going to be new. At least
What a year!
Taco Bell. Yes, it's fitting with Russell Westbrook doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
You got to take down the triple-double crunch wrap from Taco Bell. Let's bring it in. Have a seat, Lily.
Look at all the sauce options.
Have a seat. You got a whole lot of eating to do. Oh, we got you a bib.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
It's like a beautiful Armenian rug we just gave you to put on there.
What a paisley.
Okay, bring it in. Let's go. We got a whole lot of eating to do here.
Oh, the triple-double crunch wrap.
Now, Lee,
Yeah.
before every commercial break, we prefer you to finish each meal.
Yeah. What's in this?
But here's the thing: we're not
Only one way to know.
we're not monsters.
Right.
Okay. We got you something to wash the food down with.
Okay. I hope it's some Jack Daniels.
No, we got a bunch of Mountain Dew. Got a whole bunch of Mountain Dew.
Just what I was hoping for.
You don't like you don't
That's
like
what I was
soda.
saying. Where is the Mountain Dew?
All right, have at it. Let's at least have a first bite.
Can I
here.
have a? I don't have any cutlery or anything.
Just use your hands.
With your hand.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
man.
Come on now.
Come on.
Get it a big bite.
Big old bite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a huge bite. Way to start that off. A little nibble.
Is there avocado in there? No.
An avocado. Highly unlikely.
Keep eating, Lee. Keep eating while we do this show tonight. All right, look, last night in OKC, Russell Westbrook tied Oscar Robertson's mark for most triple-double crunchy wraps in a season with 41 triple-doubles. He posted 12 points, 13 assists, and 13 boards in his team's easy 110-79 victory over the Bucks. So let's play a little 3-on-3 action while Lee takes down that triple-double crunchy wrap. It is the Westbrook edition, Trey.
That's right, and 41 triple-double crunch wraps is as many as Hall of Famers Isaiah Thomas, Chris Mullin, Scottie Pippen, and Gary Payton have in their careers combined. And that's how many Westbrook has this season. So guys, what's the most impressive part of Westbrook's triple-double record?
It's not Lee eating this thing. He hasn't got too deep
Not
into it.
impressive.
All right.
He's doing all right.
That's bite number 5, I believe.
What do you think the most impressive part is?
He's averaging a triple-double for a season. Stop right there.
That's
it
it.
hasn't been done. Yeah, of course. You have to look at that first. Full stop. That is the most impressive part, that he's going to do it for an entire year. No one expected it. No one believed it could happen. That is the most impressive part.
It's not a Jason Kidd triple-double. It's a Russell Westbrook leading the league in scoring triple-double. He's shooting a career-high from three-point range in attempts and percentage, and getting to the free throw line more than he's ever got, shooting a high percentage. His legs aren't leaving him late in games. He's still scoring as much as he can.
Yeah, I think when you look at it as the whole, again, he's at 41 now. He's very likely going to pick up a 42nd. He's going to average triple-double in the year. It's that he's gotten stronger as the year has gone on. You know, when he was doing it through the first month or two, we talked about it on the show. You think he can keep it up? You think he can keep it up? Nah, it just doesn't seem possible over 82 games.
No one believed it.
To go like 30, 10, and 10. And here he is. You know, we thought the rebounding rate would drop off. It hasn't. We thought he would lose his leg. We thought his shot would go a little bit. He hasn't. He's gotten stronger. That by far is the most impressive part, and he's going to do it here.
This hasn't gotten stronger.
It hasn't? Has it gotten worse?
It's awful. I don't know how people eat these things, really. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Some people out there
That
would
shredded
go,
lettuce looks delicious.
Okay, the lettuce tastes like lettuce. The tomato tastes like tomato. The rest tastes like garbage. It tastes like absolute garbage.
No, we're sponsored by Jack Daniels, but apparently we're not going to be sponsored by Taco Bell.
By Taco Bell, I tell you what.
Some people out there are going, how is this a pick and payoff? I mean, he's going to eat a bunch of fast food. I love fast food. He does not like this, folks.
Seriously, do you eat this and go, that's a great meal? Honestly.
It's a pick and payoff for you, but we may be the ones in pain tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. Trey, next one.
I've actually already got my eyes on that leftover crunch wrap you got there. But anyways, 55 years ago when Oscar Robertson averaged his triple-double, he finished third in MVP voting, but times have changed. We have triple-double crunch wraps now. So guys, should averaging a triple-double guarantee Westbrook the MVP?
No, it shouldn't guarantee him the MVP. Can't we evaluate it? I mean, he hasn't won since, this hasn't been done since 61-62, sure, but James Harden's line of 28, 11, and 8, that hasn't been done since 65 by Oscar Robertson as well. So it's all what you take it as. And you mentioned Isaiah Thomas. Triple-doubles obviously are happening a lot more now. This is the season of the triple-double. This is a record season of triple-double. Michael Carter-Williams has more triple-doubles than Isaiah Thomas in his career. The original Isaiah Thomas. Is he a better basketball player? No, it doesn't entitle you to the MVP, but obviously Russell Westbrook's in the conversation.
I don't think any of this would matter, though, the triple-doubles, the leading the league in scoring, Westbrook's MVP case, if his team wasn't good.
Yeah.
If his team was at 25 or 30 wins, we would be like, wow, that's amazing. That's really cool. He might average triple-double, but he wouldn't get MVP consideration. It's the fact that they're obviously a playoff team and are a 45-win team, you know, so to speak. Like, that's really, really impressive when you consider Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the game, left his squad to go join the team that just won 73. It's that Westbrook has been able to carry this team for most of it to a really still solid record in a loaded Western Conference.
Yeah.
That's the impressive part.
It's a part of the story, but it's not the only story that's like, well, he's got the triple-double, it automatically entitles him to it.
And it didn't automatically entitle Oscar Robertson to the MVP when he did it way back when we didn't even know what really a triple-double was. But he finished third to Bill Russell, who won a ton of games with the Celtics. Wilt Chamberlain was second, who was putting up like 50 and 25 lines. So, yeah, it's not a guarantee, but sure, it doesn't hurt his case.
I think if someone was putting up 50 and 25, they'd get MVP.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that would guarantee it this year. All right, final one, Trey.
Back in my day, triple-doubles were rarer than finding a shooting star on a Tootsie Roll Pop wrapper, but now that Westbrook is going to average one for a season, maybe somebody else will too. Guys, what young player could average a trip-dub?
This is almost one down. I'm impressed so
you're
far.
doing well, Lily.
Not bad.
This is our longest segment of the show, so
like
it doesn't bode well for the rest of the food, though.
It's like a cassowary. You don't actually taste it, you just swallow it. So you just get it goes down.
Like a what?
Cassowary. It's an animal.
Okay.
I thought you said casserole.
No, it definitely doesn't taste like a casserole, I'll tell you that much.
Do you think anyone else will ever average a triple-double? And if so, who's most likely?
I mean, James Harden is extremely close. He's 2 rebounds away, but we're talking about young guys. I suppose Giannis Antetokounmpo could do it, but you really have to have the ball in your hands the entire game to get 10 assists. You have to be a point guard, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is right now he's a point forward.
Well,
you call him a point guard, but he's only averaging 5 assists a game. Is he going to double that?
No, he's not. Not this season. But the thing is, you say you have to be ball handler. Well, Draymond Green is 9th in the league in assists. He's had 5 triple-doubles only this year. He had 13 last year. He's actually, I think, a player who could do it because if you look at the team he's on, with the shooters he's on, he can easily get the 10 assists. He gets the rebounds, no problem. The thing for him is actually the scoring is where he sort of struggles the most. He got a triple-double without the points this year, remember, but I think if he really put his mind to it, he goes and gets a board, he starts a fast break. I think he could do it if he chose
It
to.
always helps having a bunch of amazing shooters surrounding you too, in Clay and Curry, and just give them the ball. Maybe Jokic as well, possibly in the mix, but I don't think anyone's actually going to do it. Trey, you got some tweets. The people are chiming in here.
The people are chiming. Corey says, imagine somebody randomly channel surfing and stopping to see basketball analysis while a man eats a triple-double crunch wrap. Probably going to be great, though, as Dave says, Lee looks hilarious talking basketball with a giant triple-double crunch wrap in his hands. Eat up, Lee!
All right, Lee, you keep eating during the commercial break. We got lots more food for you to intake as part of your pick'em payoff loss. But when we come back, we got to talk a little Lance. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the starters.
The Starters on NBA TV is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, proud partner of the NBA. Do your friends proud. Please drink responsibly.
Back with the starters, there's the barf bucket, just in case.
Keep the legs moving.
Yeah, I'm trying to burn off that, whatever that was, burrito thing.
Triple-double
Yeah.
crunch wrap from
Burrito
Taco Bell.
thing.
So if you're just joining us, Lee is paying off his March pick'em loss. We got the fast food roulette.
It's already
He hates
working
fast
out.
food.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, let's go. Let's see what's next.
All right.
You took down some of your triple-double crunch.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Russ doesn't get a triple-double every
Come
game.
on, Big Mac. I want to see you just take down a classic.
Yeah.
Didn't you used to work in a McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to manage one.
Come on, Big Mac.
Don't eat McDonald's. What do we got?
Oh, just missed the starter special. Oh, Big Mac and
That might be a
fries.
Big Mac.
Stop.
That might be a Big
Don't
Mac.
eat McDonald's except today.
Thank you,
Big Mac.
Sean. Let's get the Big Mac and fries. Have a seat, Lee.
man.
You got a
Big Mac.
You got a shorter block
This is
here.
great. This is a
Hey,
classic,
listen,
Lee.
no, this is. I've eaten thousands of these.
Okay, here we go. Scarf it down.
You'll be done with this in a minute, then.
Well, no, I didn't eat them like a pig. I said they ate them. Oh my God, it's cold. This is how I used to serve them, actually. That's why I don't work there anymore.
All right. Yummy.
Delicious.
Okay, while you eat the Big Mac and fries, we'll play a little fill in the blank here. Trey's got a few questions for us, and we'll do the rest. Fill in the blank.
That's right, Lance Stevenson is back at it again, playing for the Pacers and antagonizing his opponents. This time it's the Toronto Raptors who got mad at Lance after he made a breakaway layup with 3 seconds remaining and Indiana up by 15, just breaking those unwritten rules. Guys, fill in the blank. Lance's late game layup was blank.
Hold on a second. We were all just taking a little nibble.
Yeah, I was eating some fries. I think it was a brain fart. I think this was just a brain fart from Lance here. It was his first game back.
Yeah, he was hyped
He
up.
was hyped up, and the crowd, after he had a great performance in the fourth quarter, he just got it. He heard the crowd chanting his name, and he just thought, let's go get some more points. I think, and you could tell it right here, he sort of immediately regretted it and realized sort of what he did. He broke the unwritten rule, scoring when he's up so big, because he didn't react at all to any of the Raptors guys getting really fired up, be it PJ Tucker or DeRozan, and he apologized after the game. I think it was a brain fart, and I actually thought his apology was fairly sincere as well.
Yeah, that's why I say it's the fans' fault. They got him hyped. This is his first time playing at home since he was a member of the Pacers in 2013, 2014. They gave him a standing ovation.
Right.
He was just jacked, and yeah, he was a
had
little
a
bit
big
out of his
fourth
mind.
quarter, too.
Yep. Every single Pacer, when they came off the floor, basically said, he sparked our team. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what they signed him up for, to spark that bench. He did that, and he went a little bit overboard.
Yeah.
Kind of like Lance does.
I said it's no big deal because, again, this unwritten rule, we see it broken all the time in so many different ways. He just did a layup. I can't believe it nearly caused such a brawl, though,
Yeah.
of the end of the game. I mean, we all know that it's like considered disrespectful, but for the fact that so many players, and PJ Tucker got so mad at him,
Yeah.
I mean, he risked perhaps getting further stuff happen from the league. He didn't, but I mean, he's risking it.
Yeah, for sure. And like this was not long, one night, I guess, after the whole JaVale McGee.
You want some?
This Mac is
controversy,
going
2
down.
nights after the JaVale McGee.
You're enjoying it.
controversy. Yeah, sorry, I was distracted by Lee just eating a Big Mac here.
Hey, this,
live on-
like I said, man, 20 years ago I lived on this stuff, so it's like going in the DeLorean.
Oh, good. We're glad
Big
you're
Macs are
enjoying
good.
it. He's enjoying this one too much.
And this is just the regular size one, because now they've got the granddaddy
Yeah.
of them all, and they got the junior Mac. Yeah.
No problem. Trey,
lipstick
next
on
one.
a pig.
All right, 25, 5, and 6 are great numbers for everybody, unless you're the 2-time defending MVP. Steph Curry responded to critics of this season by saying it's comical. People are saying I'm having a down year. It's just 5 points less, no big deal. It's comical, guys. Fill in the blank. Steph Curry's season has been blank.
It's been very good.
Very good. That's it.
That's the second highest point total of his career. His percentages are down a
Yeah.
little bit. That's totally right. But as he said, 5 fewer points, what's the big deal? He's part of a team that has won the most games over a 3-year span in NBA history, the most wins. So he's extremely pumped. 25 points per game is all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not MVP worthy, but there haven't been many guys who've won 3 MVPs in a row. 2 of them in NBA history. And yeah, Steph isn't a part of that class. This isn't MVP type numbers, but I'm sure he's quite happy sharing the scoring load with a guy who won MVP in 2014.
Curry's season has still been, though, all NBA worthy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. He's going to make the all NBA team still. Yeah, the numbers are down from the MVP, but he was never going to win MVP as soon as Kevin Durant joined the Warriors.
That
Never.
season he had last year, though, was one of the most incredible seasons we'll ever see. So to repeat that is very hard. I put the perfect illusion because this is just what the Warriors want. Everyone's talking Russ, everyone's talking James Harden. The Warriors are now heavy favourites to go and win the championship. Last year, every single game, every single shot, every move Steph made was on cameras, on TV, on social media. This year it's like, we've got a new favourite thing to watch.
Yeah, possibly. All right, Trey, the tweets are coming in here as Lee does his pick 'em.
A few more
payoff.
tweets. This one from Adrian says, Lee Ellis's famous last words. Don't eat McDonald's.
It's
Don't
true.
forget, Lee, it's Big Mac and fries. I know.
Yeah, not one fry has gone
come on.
down.
Lee
Fry,
says,
man.
Lee's enjoying that Big Mac, but beware. The starter special is awaiting. Will
yes,
come
it
on
is.
next block.
Will he spin for the starter special? We'll find out soon enough. When we come back, maybe a conference finals preview tonight too, with the Cavs and Celtics going at it. But you just want to come back and see the starter special.
Lee's going to do some bar 3 in the break for sure.
Bar 3.
The pick 'em payoff continues. Fast food, roulette. All right, Lee, you've taken down some Taco Bell, some Big Mac. Give it another
Okay.
spin. Let's
Okay.
go.
Here we go. Starter special.
Come on, starter special. Come on, starter special.
Starter special, loaded curly fries would also be bad for Lee.
Yeah, he doesn't want the fries.
Nowhere to
It's,
hide
you've
when it's
seen-
all
you-
fries.
I've taken down the fries before.
He's taken down some fries before.
I've eaten fries.
Oh, no, not
Oh, come
Not
on,
again.
Curly's.
Loaded.
Come on, Curly's.
What is-
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Lee's choice. To the left or the right of Big Mac?
You want the chicken sandwich or the curly fries?
Which one's a chicken sandwich? That one there?
yeah.
Yeah, the chicken sandwich one.
Let's go chicken sandwich.
All right, bring it in. Bring it in.
Good choice.
The Mabry.
Good choice, Lee. It's classic staple down here
Oh
in
yeah.
Atlanta, right?
Yeah, no, this,
Chick-fil-A.
I mean, this is the first thing I think about when I think of the Deep South.
All right, we'll have a bite. Have a bite. That looks
Hey,
delicious.
the only thing worse than fast food is cold fast food when you're not hungover. Cornerstone to any nutritious meal.
I don't know if it's
Fake spicy chicken.
Last night, the Cavs defeated the Magic for the 17th straight time. They moved into a tie with the Celtics atop the East. If the Cavs win in Boston tonight, they would take the season series 3-1 and own the tiebreaker. Huge game on ESPN, unless, of course, you're LeBron and Isaiah Thomas, who are both downplaying the game. But what do you guys think heading into this? Do you think the Cavs care about the number 1 seed?
Oh, yeah, of course they do. Chris Bosh sat right here and told us that the guy he played with for 4 years really cared about winning the 1 seed in LeBron James. They definitely care. They're 19-19 on the road and a 31-8 record at home. That's a great, great record. They care, and the big thing is they want to rest. I mean, that means that they're likely to have shorter series if they're at home. They need to rest, and they want to rest.
I think they care because otherwise, wouldn't Coach Lou be resting LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love, who apparently are all going to play tonight?
Yeah.
Like, why would
On a
like, this is,
back-to-back.
it's a back-to-back. It's like something like 5th and 7.
Yep.
You'd almost be playing some mind games too, I think, if you said, and you sat your guys, you're saying to the Celtics, we don't really even care about the number 1 seed. We can go on the road and win. So I think he does in a way that this team cares. Otherwise, I wouldn't know why they're playing.
I think he sort of wants a bit of revenge too in that last game in Boston where the Celtics won. LeBron wants to go out and send a message. That's been one of the hardest places for him to win.
Whoa!
Clear in the throat. It's all right. It's all right. Look.
Have a drink, please.
Yeah, have a drink of that liquor until you haven't touched
Tomato and lettuce, which again they just throw tomato and lettuce and it's like it's good for you or something. You know?
All right, well, we're excited about that game, of course, between the Cavs and the
This
Celtics.
is cheese.
Yeah, it looks like you're enjoying yourself.
You can't. This is supposed to be cheese.
One thing we're hoping for tonight is a wedgie, of course, but we got one last night.
Yeah, we had a great one. We are back
Yeah.
to 44 wedgies, this exact same number as last year. Before the playoffs, and we included the entire playoffs last year when we got to 44. It was a quickie, but it's still a wedgie. We're projected, guys, to get very, very close to 50. 49.75 as we include the playoffs because we're so desperate to get to 50. It's not just a regular season wedgie count. And we got 150 games left to get 6 more.
Oh, I like the sound of that. All right, Lee, keep taking down that spicy deluxe chicken sandwich. We got one more spin of the wheel and you're very solid play. Don't go anywhere. You watch the starters presented by Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey. Back with the starters. Lee is burping like crazy during the break. One more spin of the wheel here, though, Lee. Let's hope for the starter special. A Wendy's Baconator topped with Chicken McNugget sandwich between 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. Let's hope for the starter special, everyone. Let's just hope for it. Ah! We got it! Get out there! Let's go, Lily!
Oh wow!
Take it down!
Where
Take
did
it
that?
down! What are the odds? What are the odds?
Unbelievable.
Come on, have a
One
bite.
bite, get one bite. Oh, it's got the Australian flag.
Top to bottom.
It's from
Nuggets and
Australia.
donuts.
Yeah, take out the sticks.
It's all right, they're just skewers. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Did you get a
Tastes
little
like
nugget?
It's like home.
Is there a nugget? Yeah, I got some nugget. Yeah.
All right. Tonight's picks. Ooh, Cavs and Celtics.
Should have gotten safe.
Tass, the only one taking Cleveland. Everybody else taking the Celtics. Lily, while you eat, give us a VSP.
Comes from the Washington Wizards. It's a beauty. Brandon Jennings over to Kelly Oubre. It's what I call a very solid tray, Oubre.
Make this a burp segment. Come on.
Can't, man.
The Starties, guys, April 14th, 8 p.m. We hand out MVP, Rookie of the Year, and some other fun awards. Hosted by Krista Ledlow. Always a blast. All right, Lee.
Yeah.
You've been a pretty good sport here. You haven't finished
Very
anything.
good sport.
But,
But he's been eating, even in breaks.
Go deep.
yeah, take a couple more bites of the starter special. We put a lot of effort into
You
it.
got a minute left. You can finish that.
Those are special Power Ranger Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah.
I'm not a crocodile.
What's been your favorite of them?
They've all been violently disgusting. I haven't enjoyed any of them, and I'll never eat any of them again unless I lose another pick and pay off.
How long are you gonna do bar 3 tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll have to put in an extra session. That's all right. Jess took care of me this morning.
Trey, you got a tweet for
Yeah,
us?
great tweet from Kathy. At the end of this episode, it'll be this, Lee. Maybe this is how it starts.
Oh, it's
I'm
too
running
good.
home.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, some food is better than other food.
Some food isn't even food.
Brace the night, people.